Good evening, everyone. The time is now 5:15 p.m., Wednesday, November 12th. I am calling the regular school committee meeting to order. If we could all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Tedeschi, if you could please call a roll.
Mr. Galligan, Ms. Hazelwood,
Here.
Ms. Kirby Chapman, Mr. Wiggins, here. Mr. Testa, here. Thank you.
Okay. 3 present at this time. We have a quorum. So now we will move forward to our next portion of the agenda, which are recognitions. Tonight, I have the honor of recognizing the Warwick Police Department, Community Service Division, and their excellent leadership. I'm proud to recognize the Warwick Police Department's command staff and Community Service Division for their outstanding partnership with our schools. This dedicated team has supported our schools, families, and staff at events across our city, and as of lately, our elementary school trunk or treats. Their presence and professionalism shined throughout these events, making each one safe, enjoyable, and memorable for all who attended. We are grateful for the department's continued investment in school safety, including the addition of a 4th school resource officer at Winman Middle School. On behalf of the Warwick School Committee and the administration, I extend our sincere appreciation to your leadership, service, and partnership. At this time, would my colleagues join me at the front of the podium to hand out certificates of recognition? So some of the names I mentioned may not be able to be here this evening because of a training that they are required training. However, we want to recognize them as well, so we will give their names. And at the end, if everyone could stay lined up here, because we do want to get a group photo. Thank you. Colonel Michael Lima. Captain Charles Boisseau. Sergeant Timothy T.J. Tavares. Sergeant John Saborski. Thank you. Officer James Wenneman. Thank you. Officer Al Morano, he's not with us this evening, but I will just say, as having worked at Pilgrim, he is amazing. He's a fantastic SRO. So we'll put that aside. Officer Ryan Shibley, I'm sure he's busy with a million things this evening. He runs PAL. Officer Nia Pina. Thank you. Nia is our SRO here at VETS. Officer Stanley Hermanowski, he can't be with us this evening, but we extend our thanks to him.
I would just like to add, Officer Hermanowski was a student here at Warwick Vets many years ago. He was an outstanding student. I'm sure he's an outstanding officer.
Thank you. Next. Officer Brittany Crabtree. Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Yes. And,
I was a great student too.
and she is our SRO.
Another great student.
She is our SRO at Tollgate and does a fantastic job. You want to say it?
I'm good.
Okay. Officer Gerald DiTomaso. Thank you so much. Now, are you the...
I'm the new guy.
This is our newest addition to our school's SRO, Officer Ed Winman. Thank you very much. And last but certainly not least, Officer Michael Macarone. And that is our excellent, yes, we're going to take a photo. Let's give one more hand for our wonderful police department. Okay. Moving along, it is now time for Ms. Ruggieri and the employee spotlight.
Good evening, Madam Vice Chair and members of the school committee. As I say every month, this is one of our favorite things to do each month is go through all the nominations that we get to honor our dedicated and talented staff. So tonight, we have 8 people to recognize, and if anyone is here, we ask that you please stand so that we can recognize you in person. First, for the clerical category, we have Debbie Cabral in payroll. Support professional Taylor Brazil at Lippett Elementary School. Our lead computer technician, Greg Lynn. Our executive director of finance, Craig Enos. Teacher assistant, Kaylee Giarusso in the Bridge program at Pilgrim. Katie Myers, elementary teacher at Hoxie Elementary. Rick Bergston from our maintenance department. And last but not least, Cheryl McGovern, special educator at Pilgrim High School. Again, I'm pleased to see this participation continue. I think we're on year 4 of this program, and it's been a huge success, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ruggieri. Right now, we're moving along to public comment on agenda items only. Individual comments will be respectfully limited to 3 minutes per person, with public comment not to exceed 45 minutes. Though the content of the comments will not be restricted, it is the hope of this committee that citizens, committee members, and administration alike will be respectful of each one's right to speak, tolerant of different points of view, and mindful of everyone's time. The public comment period is for agenda items only. A second public comment session is available later in the meeting for all topics of concern. Members of the public are permitted to speak during both comment periods. Speakers are asked to state their name for the record. Thank you.
Hello, Darlene Netco, teacher at Tollgate, year 38 in the classroom, and president of the Warwick Teachers Union. I hope that those TA positions that are on the agenda get approved this evening. They are sorely needed. There are 3 on the agenda, but you need many more. I cannot reveal where. I know some are definitely needed, but hopefully that gets to you and they get added. I know you received an email today from a teacher who is very concerned about the fact that positions were cut and need to be added back. And to her point, they were cut, and now teachers are being asked to provide the data to put them back, but she asks, where was the data to cut them in the first place? I also want to talk about the potential ad building move. When the Gorton was turned into the ad building, you recall, I was highly critical and called it the Taj Mahal because, brand new bathrooms and toilets and everything else, and you should come see my bathroom at Tollgate High School. And an air conditioner every window and so on and so forth. However, it turned out to be a good thing that we had Gorton because we were able to put Sherman in there, Oakland Beach, Holloman, while those schools were improved. As of right now, it does require a lot of repairs and there's a lot of upkeep. However, you could do what AAA did with the Sawtooth building. You improve Gorton and you rent out space and have a revenue stream for the Warwick Public Schools. I believe there's a deed that might prevent that land from being used for anything but schools, and so you might need to keep it. And just like the city of Warwick is paying money to AAA, not a good use for city money in my opinion, but the school side could be the landlord and collect the money. So that might be something looking into if the revenue stream could help us fund our schools, because clearly the city is not interested in doing that. I was just at the Budget Commission meeting and I pointed out there, as I've pointed out in many other places, the city was all well and good to put a budget commission on the schools, but the city needs a budget commission on itself. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to make a public comment? Anyone else that would like to make a public comment? Anyone else for public comment? Okay. There being none, we will move on to routine matters. I am looking for a motion to pass approval of minutes from public session October 16th, 2025.
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Testa, second by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. I'm moving approval for minutes of executive session, October 16th, 2025,
So moved.
made by Mr. Testa,
Second.
second by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Approval of warrants, November 12th, 2025,
So moved.
made by Mr. Testa,
Second.
second by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next on the agenda, announcements, personnel as presented. Mrs. Ruggieri.
Hello again. Before you tonight, we have some retirements and resignations that will require a vote. First, we say goodbye to Susan Massey, a math interventionist with 35 years of service. Allison Wallace, social studies teacher with 23 years of service. Carol Maloney, the curriculum grant secretary with 25 years of service. Deborah Charpentier, teacher assistant at Pilgrim High School with 32 years of service. And Maureen Cobb, teacher assistant at Pilgrim High School with 44 years of service.
Motion to adopt personnel as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
By Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Aye, and Mr. Testa was the first motion on that. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Any
Next up, we have
appointments?
some resignations that also require a vote. Sandra Savella, librarian at Hoxie and Norwood. I do want to note she does have 21 years of service with us, so I wanted to note that extended
Thank you.
period as well. Teresa Thornton, social worker at Hoxie Elementary School. Teresa Leduc, teacher assistant at Norwood Elementary School. Ruby McGurk, teacher assistant at Lippett Elementary School. And Veronica Bertrand, senior clerk in the Human Resources Department.
Thank you. Looking for a motion on resignations
So moved.
by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you. One more that will require a vote. Jessica Burgalt, a preschool special educator at Welk, is requesting a 1-month leave of absence. She's looking to get a certification in a different area, and she needs it for student teaching.
Okay. Motion to move?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Testa, second by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you. And finally, courtesy announcements for our new appointments with the district. We welcome senior accountant Christopher Muir, elementary principal at Norwood, Dawn Manchester, MLL teacher at Norwood, Rachel Zarella, math interventionist at Oakland Beach and Lippett, Jill Caruso, music teacher at Veterans, Kathleen Malvar, special education teacher at Pilgrim, Dylan Schaefer, special education teacher at Hoxie, Haley Johnson, and night custodian at Warwick Neck, John Faria. I welcome everyone to the district, and please know that our door is always open. And if you'll indulge me for just a minute, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Tracy Jakes. She is the new HR director for Warwick Public Schools, and she's here tonight. She will be here next month. This is the last time you'll hear from me. So we welcome Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here, that they could stand so we could acknowledge them. Mrs. Jakes, could you please stand? Sure. We are grateful to have you here. Thank you very much. You got tough shoes to follow, but if they picked you, I know you're right. So thank you so much. And I'd like to just say thank you to Mrs. Ruggieri for all these years of service. You have been here for, how many years have you been here? 25 years, started in the classroom, right? And you've been working hard and serving ever since. And we're grateful for your years of service. We're thankful for all you've done for the district, and we wish you the very best in your retirement. Enjoy yourself as much as you can. All right. Okay.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero, you can always watch this fun live when you're home.
Yeah, I bet.
Wish you the best, Kip.
Okay, moving forward to donations and correspondence. At this time, I would like to acknowledge donations of an assessment kit, manuals, protocols, and rating scales to be utilized district-wide. This donation came from Susan Culpert in the amount of $2,410. Can I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Testa, second by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Okay. On to adoption of policies. If everyone is okay, I'd like to mention both together. The second, yes?
We're going to ask to table B, D, D, G. I made some substantive changes with Kristen, sorry.
All right, no problem. We're going to scratch that, actually. We're going to do the second read for BFE, Administration and Policy Absence, and the BDDG first read we are tabling this evening. All right, so may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Just get a motion to table.
Oh, I need a separate motion. Just one more thing. Can I have a motion to table
So moved.
BD, seconded by,
Second.
all right. First motion by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Okay. On to new business. Dr. Antonelli with a presentation on state assessment data. Good evening, Dr. Antonelli.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Excuse my voice, I have a little bit of a cold maybe coming on, so sorry about that. So I looked at all our state assessment data, RICAS, SAT, PSAT, and NGSA, so I just wanted to provide a brief overview of how Warwick Public Schools did on our state assessment data for the 24-25 school year. That's right. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so if you can see, this is our RICAS data for ELA, and comparing us to our state, and it's very similar. We're pretty much in line to how the state overall is performing, and you'll see the same thing for math is next. So Warwick compared to the state, we're very similar in our performance for the overall state average, so we're maintaining that. I looked at our comparison districts, our other urban ring districts, to see how we did compare to our partners around the state. So RICAS ELA, as you can see, Warwick, we're at 32%, and everyone else is just around that. So we're right in line with how other districts that are very similar to us are performing. And the same goes for math. So we are falling right in line with how most of the other districts that are similar to us are performing. This is comparing over the 2 years to see what our growth looks like. So as you can see, for both ELA and for math, for our RICAS data, we're kind of the same, a little bit of flat line there. There hasn't been too much growth, but there's not dip either, so we're steady in our performance there. Okay, this is NGSA, which is our science assessment. This is taken in grades 5, 8, and 11, but I do want to note that it is not just grade 5, 8, and 11 content that kids are being tested on. So it does matter what's happening in all the grades. In grades 5, they're tested on information from grades 3, 4, 5. 8, they're tested on information from 6 to 8. And the same with 11, they're tested on information from 9 through 11. So it is every teacher who's contributing to this data that we have here. And very similar to what our other data is showing, our growth from last year to the previous year, we performed very similar. Not really much growth, but not really much regression either. Oh, I will go the wrong way. Sorry. I have to learn the clicker. Sorry about that. Our PSAT and SAT data, so our high schools, how we're doing there. So compared to the state, for our ELA, we're very similar. Same that we saw with RICAS, performing similar to the state overall average. So I looked at how our counterparts around the state are doing, our other urban ring districts, and for our ELA, PSAT, and SAT, we're performing pretty similar to how the other urban ring districts are performing. So we're right in line with what they're doing as well. PSAT and SAT for math, we are performing a little bit lower than our statewide average for math in our PSAT and SAT. and comparing the other urban ring districts, pretty similar. We are performing a little bit lower in the PSAT math last year. The SAT math, it seems we're pretty much in line with how everyone else in our comparison districts are performing. Besides, looks like North Providence is a little bit of an outlier there with some increased scores. But other than that, pretty similar to our counterparts. So over the past few years, how we did with our PSAT and SAT. So PSAT ELA, tiny bit we dipped, but performance over the 2 years is pretty similar. And for our SAT, we actually increased a little bit over the 2 years. Mathematics for PSAT and SAT. So as I said, we are performing a little bit lower than state average for our math in both SAT and PSAT. We are doing a lot of work for this moving forward. We have professional development planned for our content leads, they're going to push that out to our teachers. We did meet with RIDE and with College Board today and had a really nice professional development for our teams at both high schools, and they both left feeling like they learned a lot and things that they can bring back to their teachers at their schools. So we are working on helping to improve this here. And that must be it. I think that's it. Is it not moving? Okay, that must be it. All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Testa.
Madam Chair, thank you. Dr. Antonelli, thank
Yes.
you. Dr. Schultz, thank you. Dr. Schultz is much more caffeinated when she presents these things, just so you know. I get this data, I do. But the RICAS, that encompasses the whole district, so it doesn't show where the big bright spots are.
Yes.
Right, and it doesn't show the areas that we need to improve. I mean, that comes later with the individual RICAS data. So, yeah, I see it, and some people from the public may look at this and say, well, it's just okay, it's just, or they could be disappointed, but my point is there's a bigger picture here, and it doesn't present itself from this data. The science data, I'm not surprised. I mean, we just recently started testing for science in the state, right? So everybody's playing catch up there. Okay. Math has always been a bit of an issue, but I think, based on prior conversations I've had with Dr. Schultz, that we're making some good progress here in building the groundwork and a framework to move this needle. I think it did move a little bit at Pilgrim, I think, if I remember correctly. So, you know, overall, I'm still encouraged. I think part of the RICAS at the high school level is some of this new curriculum. Dr. Schultz, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think some of the new curriculum we acquired, would everybody who's in high school now have been subjected to that curriculum? Right? And is this a case of the high school? We focused on the elementary grades first, right? So this could be a byproduct of that because we really haven't ramped it up at the high school.
So we adopted the ELA program at the high school officially, I'd say, oh my gosh, I feel like Darlene would know the answer. It must have been 4 or 5 years ago is when I first took the curriculum position. So yeah, is that right? 3-ish. We'll say an ish. And with that, of course, it always takes time to really get to know it, but we did have gains in the high school area for ELA for sure, which was great. We also had a 4% gain for our elementary schools in ELA, which we haven't seen in a couple years, so I think it's finally working. As long as the teachers are using it with integrity, then we're gonna see those gains because it's aligned to all the standards. The only thing is with these programs, they're all encompassing and there's a lot to them. So it takes a long time to kind of understand all the intricacies of it, and then you'll see the benefits, after a few years, which we're starting to see now. I think Sabrina did a great job showing off the data, and we did have some schools with some massive improvements. Wyman was awesome. Yes.
And that could be a future presentation for you, too.
Yes, I'm sure
just-
that Dr. Antonelli would love to do that.
You know, all my people who know me, you share the good news, and the bad news, too.
That's right.
But there is good news. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
So, and
No,
that's my point.
absolutely. And I think that fact that we're, we're either staying where we are or having slight improvements each year is something to celebrate, because our teachers are working hard every day. Like Lisa said, what Dr. Solch said with our curriculum, I know in the elementary, the ELA curriculum, they've been learning it as they go, and every year they've been able to add another module. So there's 4 modules, and they don't expect them to do it all right away because they have to learn it. Same thing with the science, right? So that's where we're seeing the same. So 4 modules in the science, they're not expected to do it all the first year because they're learning it. So every year that they're learning it and getting better at it, they're adding in the next module, adding in the next module, and growing their skills and refining the way they teach it because they're learning the curriculum better. So I think we'll continue to see, as long as, like Dr. Solch said, we're staying with the curriculum and are really focusing on teaching what that says. But as long as we're doing that, we'll continue to see that growth because they're just going to get better at it.
Yeah, and in fairness to the educators, too, I mean, there's a lot on their plates. right?
Absolutely.
So in addition to us, learning the curriculum and all that, they've got all the other stuff that they've had to do that are mandated by the state, so
Yeah.
I get it. So
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
And we have seen a lot of good growth in many schools. So Pilgrim, for instance, had a great amount of growth. Windman had a great amount of growth, and several elementary schools had a great amount of growth as well. So I think we're doing a good job. I think we're doing the right things, and we'll just keep moving forward and growing our practice.
Yeah, and I would just say to the superintendent, I mean, put the school information out on our website if you have to. Let people see, because as I said, there's still a lot of good that's happening here. And-
Absolutely.
And public, we get maligned. All public schools get maligned. So, and there is good and there's bad all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's just put it out there. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
absolutely.
Members of the school committee, I'd always also like to make you aware there's a lot of collaboration going on right now between notably the Pilgrim and the Tollgate sides of the city. As Ms. Antonelli was saying, we had professional development today, and one of the things they focused on was going into Blue Book, going into Khan, and getting the data out of that, and we were able to figure out in one instance why kids aren't scoring, let's say, a 3 on a certain category, and that boils down to them just not citing text. That's a simple change that can be done in a classroom. So yeah, I'm very proud of the teachers at the secondary level right now, just because it seems like they've all come together for the betterment of the district, not thinking of themselves as separate schools so much. So I think we'll see scores increasing.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ken. I totally agree with you. I mean, it's in part a little bit of culture change too, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? And change is tough for everybody. It doesn't matter what profession you're in, but change we must. Everyone's got to. So I'm very pleased and encouraged by everything that's happened in the last handful of years. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Anyone else? I just want to piggyback off what Mr. Testa said. I had a conversation with the superintendent stating that there are a lot of good things happening in this district. This does not sum up the story. We need the data, but it doesn't sum up what's happening in our schools. And I believe we will see more and more improvement in the years to come. It's exactly as Mr. Kane said. It is as simple as sometimes something small, but that you lose points for it. So doesn't mean our kids aren't getting ready for college. They are. They're being prepared for college. So thank you, and thank you for what you're doing and the presentation this evening. Also, can I just state for the record that Ms. Kirby Chapman joined us at 5:40 p.m. Okay. All right. The next on the agenda is discussion update, presentation of high school projects, left field.
Good evening, committee. If I could ask our technology team to queue up the project website that Left Field has developed. We have a key feature now there that I'd like to show you folks. If you scroll down just slightly, you're going to see the latest drone flyover, courtesy of Dimeo Construction. They have a licensed drone operator on their team, thankfully, who's conducting these. This one is from last week. I think if you were to look at it, you'll see that it looks a lot like last month's. So I don't think we're going to take the time during this update to show you, but I did want to make a note that it's there, right? So any members of the public want to go and see roughly 90-second drone flyover of construction progress, it is there on this website. So you can see in front of you here that concrete installation is ongoing. It will be through November, and the much anticipated arrival of steel is starting mid-December. So very exciting. Things are going to go very quickly out there. And with that, I'm going to pivot to Pilgrim. So DEM has given us the green light to start work at the Pilgrim High School. So if you were to drive by that site today, you're going to see all of the safety measurements are in place, right? The scrim fencing, the truck decontamination pads, tree protection. You're also going to see a very large pile of soil, dirt, over 1,000 cubic yards to be more precise. So what that means is we've essentially started the first real construction activity out there, which is quite a milestone. Stripping topsoil is the first thing that we do to get down to more structurally suitable soil. We would have done that regardless of whether we were under the DEM's jurisdiction. But I do want to note that now that we have this remedial action work plan approved, we had two options within that work plan. The first one is the one that we've talked a lot about. That was our previously preferred option. That was to strip the top 2 feet, right? Essentially clean the site, give Pilgrim a clean site with no restrictions, no environmental land use restrictions. We thought that was the best approach. We've had a lot of conversations over the last couple of months with our contractors team, and looking at the cost of doing that, it's very expensive. It's a lot of trucking soil, a lot of excavating and trucking soil, very expensive to do. Also very time consuming. So it's so expensive, in fact, that I think we're really considering the other option that we haven't talked much about, but it's called the cap in place, which essentially you bring in clean import, you cover the site, you cover what's there. It's fully compliant with DEM regulations, it makes the site safe, it's not, quote, clean as we had aspired to do, right, previously, but we think this is a much more cost-effective and much better schedule-wise approach after giving it a lot of thought over the last couple of months. So I wanted to make the committee aware that it is a change in course, but it is approved again by RIDEM, and we think it's going to save a lot of money. So we'll keep you updated on that, and I think by the time we come before you next month, we'll have a definitive course of action. Right now, it's not 100%, but that's where we're leaning towards, is that cap-in-place remediation approach. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions, but that concludes my update for this month.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Testa?
Thank you, Mr. Bates. I think it's important to add a little bit to what you just presented, because we discussed this today at the building committee meeting. Last month when you came before us, we thought that we had an area of clean fill. We were going to keep that, right? But part of that, which we were very clear about, where when you start to excavate that, to save it, you have to excavate the walls around it. And we did that, and we found a black substance or whatever that we had to stop, get it tested. We believe it's organic material, but every single time we encounter that, we have to stop, test, and wait, right?
That's right.
Testing is money, stopping is time, and time is money.
That's right.
So the fact that the cap in place is approved by RIDE, in the down the con, if you will, is now it's become a land use restriction. which is not uncommon
No.
at all.
No. And, I don't know how much time we have tonight, but yes, it was one of the things we wanted to avoid for the district's sake was that environmental land use restriction, right? It does come with a little bit of a burden. That means that we have to maintain that cap in perpetuity, essentially. Every time we go out there and do any activity, it needs to be reported to DEM, meaning puncture that cap, right? So, it comes with restrictions, which we wanted to avoid. But to your point, Mr. Testa, it's common, it's fully compliant, there's many precedents for it.
Right. And future use of that, you're building a school that's a 50 to 75-year school.
Right.
So it's not as if you're going to have this property suddenly available to be developed. But the other point you brought up this morning is it's all recorded at RIDE, right? So RIDE has a database of all these land use restriction sites. Everybody knows it would become part of our building and maintenance operations protocol. So if we were to decide to, I think the example was plant a tree somewhere,
Yeah.
we have to be cognizant of the fact that there's the
Exactly.
geotextile barrier, and there's a process. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's a burden, because you typically, once you build a school, you're not doing, unless you do a major remodel, but we know it's there.
That's right.
And this is, I think it's the most prudent course to take because we don't have time and we don't have money.
Yeah,
So-
it's deserving to probably revisit your point that you made in the beginning and what made us really start to pivot in our minds. We did go out and try to investigate what we were calling that non-jurisdictional polygon, right? That area that we didn't have any hits of contamination in our testing. And we said to DEM, we think that we could save the district a lot of money by keeping this on site and not having to export it. We did do that preliminary trenching to start the characterization, and we found what you mentioned, that dark, greasy-looking almost substance, and this is closer to the football field. It turned out that it's organic material. It's not contaminated, but it did open our eyes to the fact that every time we dig a hole, we're going to have to verify what it is that we find, and depending on where you go on site, you're going to find different stuff, right? There's a lot of variability on that site, and that's one of the overarching themes as we try to characterize it. So for the sake of time, we can't, every time we dig a hole, we can't stop and then wait for testing results, shut everything down, and just sit idle in the meantime. It was very much a decision, or it's looking like a decision we're making for the sake of keeping things moving. So, again, we could spend many hours over the last few months talking about this with our team, and I don't want to take up too much time this evening, but I'll just try to give you a high-level update on where we're going. And I think by next month we'll have a definitive approach.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I think we're trying to do this right. Right? We're not cutting any corners. We're not doing anything that's nefarious or malicious or anything like that. I think at some point we mentioned today we should notify the abutters that the change in plan doesn't impact them. It doesn't impact them as a practical matter, but I think we should just do that. So, okay. Thank you, Mr. Bates.
Of course.
Any other questions? There being none, thank you, Mr. Bates.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, discussion update, capital and construction projects update from Mr. Goffberg.
Good evening. A quick update on our bond projects. At Holloman, we had to make a couple minor adjustments on some doors last week, and there's been no further issues reported. Our past summer projects, the A6 pair of doors at Park that we've talked about have been ordered, and they will be installed during the holiday recess in December. We had, as Mr. Wiggins knows, we had an issue, reoccurring issue at the front door at Hoxie. We found that a little adjustment screw kept loosening every time somebody hit the crash bar, and the door would not close properly. So what we did was we readjusted that screw, bought a little tube of Loctite, let it dry, and we haven't had a problem since. So the screw, that's been taken care of. We also replaced a bad door closer under warranty on door number 18 at Hoxie. At Scott Septic, the gift that keeps on giving, we had a meeting scheduled with the owner of the property we're trying to hook up to for next week. He canceled because of a death in the family. The city will hopefully reschedule that before the end of November. We really need to get this resolved. Future projects, I met with RIDE last week to review the revised $56 million budget allocations that were approved by both the building and school committees, and they had no issues with it. So we then made a formal request for approval of the MOA budget revisions and a 2-year extension of the MOA agreement to ensure that we receive all reimbursements as we move forward with these projects. We received that document today, and it will be forwarded to all of you and the superintendent for your signatures, and then back to RIDE for their signatures and the final approval. So happy to answer any and all questions you may have.
Mr. Wiggins?
I want to thank you for your work at Hoxie. I know that was a lot, and been back every day, checking. The parents are very happy.
That was one of those things where it's just a little tiny screw. Yeah.
So they truly appreciated you rushing over that day and helping
That's
them
what
out.
we do.
So thank you.
And I also want to thank you for going out to Oakland Beach this week about the heating system. They needed some relief over there, and you were very quick to offer your hand. So I appreciate that very much.
We've got to make that right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, we're going to move on. Discussion action, approval of Tollgate High School GMP, guaranteed maximum price, left field, please. Mr. Bates.
Again, I'll call on our technical team to bring up the spreadsheet that I sent over earlier. Thank you. Okay, so the guaranteed maximum price to build the Tollgate High School. So this guarantees the ceiling of costs of work outside of any owner-directed or approved changes. It's inclusive of the $88 million and change dollars of early release packages that we have approved here by this committee to date. There were 12 of them. This GMP now puts Dimio's total contract amount up to $152 million to $152,566 and $876. And that's for the building itself, and that is for the CTC renovation, right? What we're calling the base project. And that represents about $750-ish per square foot, which I can say in 2025 to build a new high school in this region in this mid 750 range is quite an achievement. So credit to the team on that. We do have $9 million in total alternates that you can see on the screen there. If you would include those alternates, that moves that per square foot number up in the high 780s. So I just want to note a few things about the GMP document. Left field and the capital projects team, Mr. Gothberg, Mr. Oliver, we sat down with Dimio, spent a good amount of time. We reviewed the rates, Dimio's rates against their competitors in the region. We find that they're on par. We looked at their staffing plans. We think that the amount of staffing that they've allocated to the jobs is appropriate. We looked at the contingencies within the GMP. We find them appropriate. We've reviewed all the subcontractor bid tabs, and we're in agreement with all of the selections that have been made. So we're recommending approval of this document. And so on the screen here, you will see on the top the base amount, which is that $152 million and change that I mentioned, and then you'll see a list of 10 alternates underneath it. Again, a total of 9. And I'm going to point you to items numbers 9 and 10, drywall, minority business enterprise premium, either 15 or 25% are the two options, and they each have a cost associated with those. Obviously, the higher percentage represents a higher cost to the district. So as it relates to MBE, as we know, the state has a goal of 15% of MBE participation for the project as a whole. The reality is here, unfortunately and sadly, that the availability, the limited labor pool available for people that meet this criteria is very small, and that's especially so given the fact that Pilgrim has already kind of swallowed up a good portion of that labor with having signed their GMP a couple of months ago. So that being the case, we look at that premium pricing and considering what it would do for us in terms of moving the needle in improving our GMP, our MBE participation rate from say 5% up to maybe 6%, maybe. We are not recommending that the district spend the money, which we think is extremely high, to achieve essentially a negligible increase in MBE participation. Thus, on that summary there, we have recommended no for items numbers 9 and 10, thereby making the total of the ad alternates just over $8 million. So what we're recommending, and if you're in agreement, would be a total cost of the project, inclusive of all the alternates, which represent all of the athletic fields, right? The practice field, baseball fields, concession stands, tennis court refurbishment, greenhouse, also some upgrades to the CTC building, replacing all the aluminum windows, new facade metal panels, and an important moisture mitigation for flooring. We are recommending you take those for a total of 160 and change, 165, 73, 190. So, and very importantly here, you'll note just underneath that number, that total number, our budget at the beginning of this year, I believe it was January, was what? 160,065,854, right? So just over $500,000 increase, which, considering it's been almost a year, I think credit is due to the DIMEO team and especially their estimating team for coming up with that number and then basically, being true. So again, it was a good bio process. We think it's a good GMP. To buy a high school for this day and age in the mid-7s is a pretty good accomplishment. Any questions?
Mr. Wiggins.
So, in keeping true to our last conversation with Pilgrim, I certainly agree with adding back to the GMP 1 through 8. I do appreciate you explaining 9 and 10. Not my world, so I do appreciate understanding that element. So I would move to have those 8 items added. Is that a move? I mean, basically, Mr. Bates moved to do it
Well,
for us. I mean, he did my work for me.
Don't take that as a motion, but what I'm saying is that this comes with the caveat that additional funding would be in place at some future time, right? As of right now, we are over budget. We had a stated budget of $285 million. We're $30 million over that. So it would be dependent on additional funding to realize those ad alternates. But
yeah, I think going back to our previous discussion, we promised the community a facility that includes obviously outdoor outdoor sports facilities, bleachers, press boxes, things of that nature, things that bring kids to the city of Warwick. To not do it or not to have it as part of the plan seems silly. As I said, with the Pilgrim project. So I do understand that it does increase the cost. We know that we're doing well and we're coming under budget on a lot of things. This is the last part of the project, so we'll know more when we get to that part of it. But I would like to make a motion to.
I'm going to refer to legal first.
So I believe the no motion is on the table right now. So if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your motion is to approve what are we calling it? Yeah, the overall 160, but the gross maximum at 152 plus the additions of 1 through 8 for a total of 160, 573, 190.
That would be correct.
Subject to, I guess, funds being available?
Yes.
That's
Which was the same with Pilgrim.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
So that would be the motion. You need a second, and then discussion and a vote.
Okay.
So-
So the motion is for the alternates to be added, bringing the total cost to $160 million, I'm trying my best to see, $573,190. That is the motion.
Mr. Wiggins?
Say again, Dave?
He already moved it, right?
Moved
Yeah,
by
she
Mr.
just
Wiggins,
made it.
and
I'll second. We did second.
I need a second. Made by Mr. Wiggins, seconded by Mr. Testa. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Okay. Next on the agenda, discussion update, fiscal year 26 budget update. Mr. Enos.
Good evening, everyone. Fiscal year 26, we are still going along. We have a deficit, so that has not changed. We will be deficit spending the whole year. The superintendent and I continue to review all the expenditures to date, so our goal is to minimize what the deficit will be at the end of the year. But we continue to be in a good trend and continue to be in line with what the budget is. So are there any specific questions that you have?
Mr. Testa?
Thank you. It's the question pertaining to your spreadsheet. It may sound obvious, I just want to make sure I'm understanding it. So in your FY 26 as of 10/31, in the column that's percentage remaining, that's the percentage of funds remaining in that at that given time.
That is the balance that is left for the remainder of the fiscal year.
The fiscal year, right? Because some of those line items the spending may not accelerate until the end of the year. So you might be looking like we're in great shape here, but it really comes at the back half of the year.
Correct.
Okay.
And we have some expenses that are paid up, front.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
just to sort of highlight just a few things. So year to date for the substitutes, 486,000. If we look at last year at this exact same time, it was 600,000. So we're in a good trend. The overtime, right? So last year was almost 200,000. As of year to date, we're only at 42,000. So we really are keeping a close lid on overtime. We're looking at every single line item.
Thank you. I like the layout. It makes it, I just wanted to state the obvious.
Sure.
Make sure I understood it, but thank you.
Sure.
Any further discussion? There being none, we move on to discussion update, court and administration.
Sure. So just we're going to be going out to bid for the administration office spaces. We're going to be looking for a space that's approximately 30,000 square feet. So we do have, there's a number of employees, about 60 employees, but we also come with a lot of stuff. So particularly on the business end, so we have payroll files that go back to the creation of the Warwick Public Schools that we have to keep forever. And when an employee, when they retire, or if there's a question about their retirement between payroll and human resources, so we're going into the catacombs. So it's information, it's a lot of information that we need to have close by. Whether or not there's space in Warwick that can contain us, I don't know, but we're going to find out through this RFP, and we will certainly see, and we will bring it back to you for your review. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Any
if I may?
discussion? Yes, Mr. Testa.
Thank you, Mr. Enos. I find it amazing that you have to keep records in perpetuity. Paper records, right? We can't digitize them. Well, that would cost a lot of money, too.
Nope, payroll, going back to day one.
Right.
We have to keep them.
Yeah, so, and again, there is no disrespect intended towards anyone. This is an area that school departments typically don't delve into, right? Leasing of properties. So you're a school finance director, you're a good one. My concern is that once we go out to RFP, that we have people consulting with us here to make sure that we're asking the right questions, crossing the right Ts and dotting the right Is.
Correct.
Right? So, okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Thank you, Mr. Enos. Moving forward. Oh, go ahead.
That we have the slop sink. We gotta have that. We have to have that slop sink.
Yeah.
The
It's a
what?
terrible-
What is that?
It's a slop sink. It's for janitorial,
Oh,
custodial services.
the
Yeah.
slop
It's just-
sink.
Very
It's
important.
in the food service industry too. It's just,
Yep.
it's a terrible term.
Yep.
Terrible sounding term.
But that's what I call it.
I guess that's what it is then. Moving forward, we have superintendent's update. Mr. McCaffrey.
Madam Chair, members of the school committee, as we approach the completion of the first third of the school year, I'd like to take the opportunity to share with you some events and happenings since the last meeting we had in October. Under teaching and learning, we learned a lot from Dr. Antonelli and Dr. Schultz this evening on test scores. Since that time, we've also, RIDE has published their star ratings for schools. As you know, the RIDE star ratings for schools are based on a combination of academic performance, student success, college career readiness, using metrics such as student achievement on state tests, student growth, English language proficiency, chronic absenteeism, graduation rates, etc. Recently, we have received some positive news on the rating of our schools. Pilgrim was recently rated as a 3-star school. The information is available online at RIDE if you'd like to take a look at it. But I want to thank the faculty and staff at Pilgrim and all our schools for all they do every day to support our students with teaching and learning. Obviously, the star rating is one snapshot, one set of metrics of what's happening at a school. There are other metrics out there as well. You heard some from Dr. Antonelli. There are some informal metrics that we don't always hear or don't always share. Last week I happened to stop at Oakland Beach School at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was a little bit dumbfounded because I was struggling to find a decent parking spot. But you'd be amazed at the amount of staff members that are in there working hard, at least an hour before the start of school, getting ready for the day, and hats off to the staff members at Oakland Beach for all they do. But it's amazing the amount of people the dedication they have for our kids, and I just an eye-opener for me. It's just one of those other metrics that we never really look at. Under facilities, we heard about the different work that Mr. Gothberg and Mr. Oliver have been doing and cleaning up as we get into the school year. I have had the opportunity to work with our athletic director, along with the director of public works and pre-planning for the spring season. We had a very productive meeting with the director of public works, and we have a great plan to make sure we properly support our athletes in the spring. As you know, with the construction of the 2 high schools, our fields, we're limited on the field space that we have. And we keep accomplishing a lot. And I'd also like to thank Donna Higgins as well. Donna was there, some great ideas, and we have a great plan going into the spring. School community activities, as you know, we had successful trunk or treat events. We had a lantern night at Windman. They were all a big hit. I want to thank the PTOs, the PTAs, teachers, teaching assistants, and our custodians for supporting the events, as well as our administrators. You know, it's the extras that are happening here in Warwick that makes a difference, and the amount of people that were participating in these events, again, was amazing to me, and hats off to all the hard work they're doing. Finally, this past week we had Veterans Day ceremonies, the end of last week, earlier this week, and it was a great educational tool for our students. Our teachers that organized the events did a great job in communicating to the students the importance of the day. We had the opportunity to honor some local veterans, and it was very positive, very meaningful, and I felt the students were very respectful, and they realized the importance of our veterans and the freedom they have provided us in this country. Under athletics, this past week we've have 2 new state champions as a result of in volleyball. The girls volleyball team, they won the Division IV state championship at Tollgate, and the other night the soccer team at at Tollgate won the Division III state title. Hats off to both teams for all their hard work, and all their hard work has paid off. Looking ahead, I'd like to take an opportunity. At the end of the month, we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving. We all have a lot to be thankful for, and I'm thankful for all that everyone is doing here in Warwick. It's truly making a difference. We're moving in the right direction. You know, we have the new schools that have broken ground. We have seeing positive results with the teaching and learning, and I'm truly thankful for all the hard work that the teachers and staff members and administrators are doing here in Warwick. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCaffrey. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Testa.
Mr. McCaffrey, you mentioned it. Dr. Schultz, this is going to sound familiar to you. It's the star rating system. I'm beyond thrilled that Pilgrim went from 2-star to a 3-star. The star rating system is terrible. You're only as good as your worst star. So, you know, no person would like to be evaluated that way. If you were in commission sales and your bonus at the end of the year was predicated on your worst month, you wouldn't like that too much. And that's essentially what this is akin to. So while I get it, I get you need to have some sort of a metric in a star system. And I've said it the last time. People moving into Rhode Island or moving around, they look at that star system. And if I'm looking at a town and your high school is a 2-star high school, you don't look into the details. You think it's a 2-star. I'm not going there. I'm not sending my student there. So I don't know what it will take for RIDE to change how this star system works, maybe average it, but it's really not an accurate reflection of your school.
No, it's not.
It's not. So that's all. Soapbox dismantled.
If I could just add to the soapbox, one thing that we've noticed is that every year RIDE also changes the way that they calculate the star rating, so it's very difficult to compare year-over-year data when they change it. So just to add that to that. Thank you.
Well, I'll just say yes, yes, and yes, because everything you said I could get up and applaud for. It's just true. These things do not sum up what's happening in our schools. You have to be there to know what goes on in our schools. And there's so many good things happening in every domain. And I can't say enough, because my happiest times are when I'm in the schools and seeing what's happening in our schools. So that's all I've got, but thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to discussion update, Athletic Act Grants Awards. Mr. Rex.
Good evening. I just wanted to update the committee and the public with our ACT grants. We were fortunate enough to already been awarded $23,000 for our athletic programs. Cheerleading, football, both football teams and soccer teams were awarded ACT grants. ACT grants go out to almost the majority of the districts in the state. So for Warwick to be given those ACT grants is great. We certainly could use it, and the kids benefit from it. I just wanted to give them a shout out and thank you for helping Warwick out with that, our athletes.
Any discussion? Mr. Wiggins?
As you know, I'm very familiar with the ACT Foundation and what they do for all communities throughout all districts in the state. $23,000 in just this, this session, and then we have other. I know there are other requests out there, and I do encourage other, sports teams to reach out to the ACT Foundation for additional equipment, maybe additional, jumpsuits, uniforms, things of that nature, especially considering the situation we're in. So, and I think it's very important that you give them the shout out they deserve tonight, because they've done this for years. This is not the first year they've given us $23,000 in one season. They've done it on an ongoing basis, and we're very lucky to have a foundation like that available to us. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rex. Appreciate the update.
Thanks. I have one more next, I think, so I'll just stay.
You want to say and bring it?
No, I think I have one more.
Oh, okay. Sorry about
Item.
that. Oh, I thought that was later on. All right. Discussion action for the helmet services for out of the fiscal year 27.
Yeah, so I've been, in the past few years, I've come up to the committee a year in advance for the refurbishment, permission to send out our football helmets to be refurbished at the end of the football season. In the past, we would just get them back in August, and we would pay the bill for the helmet refurbishment, and a committee member asked, well, why are you just bringing this to us now? The work's already been done. So we switched it where I would come up and ask for permission ahead of time. It's something it's mandatory. We have to have the helmets and shoulder pads inspected, refurbished. Some do get rejected. There is a time stamp on the helmets. They're only good for 10 years from the moment we buy them. Even if they're in decent shape after the year 10, they age out and we have to get rid of them. So the helmets take a while to have them all refurbished in the shoulder pads, so they go out the week after Thanksgiving, after our Thanksgiving Day game, and we get them back right before football season. So I'm here again. I gave you the data from Stadium Systems of what it would cost, and I'm just asking for permission to send them out to have them done.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Looking for a motion to approve the helmet services.
Move approval.
Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Before moving on, Mr. Wiggins, could you please introduce your guest?
Yeah, sorry. I know we've had this young man up here all night listening to these very, very important subject matters. He is a senior at Pilgrim High School. His name is Caden Stoic. He is, I am mentoring him for his capstone project. He's been involved with Michelle and I on the policy committee, and he wanted to join tonight to see how this all works, and he's taking it all in. And we're very happy to have him.
Yes, we welcome you. Okay, next on the agenda, discussion action, approval to convert existing data system specialist, Mr. Napolillo.
Hello. Yeah, we wanted to convert the data system specialist to a former assistant coordinator of operational systems and application support role, one of the few that I've collected along the way. Our department has shrunk, taken a little hit in a few areas, and but yet the technology continues to grow. You'll probably know customer service is very big with me and my team. I'd say with the exception of Mr. Stoke, we've helped everybody up here, a member of my team, and now it's growing. We definitely want to hone in on a lot of the cybersecurity. The artificial intelligence, as you know, is taking off like crazy. It's grown pretty fast. Data privacy, things like that. And now when I listen about some of these state mandates on the educational side, I'm seeing the state mandates on the compliance side for some of these security items. So it'd be nice to backfill a small position like that, entry-level middle management position, and I think it's going to be good for the team.
Yeah. Any discussion?
Well,
Mr. Testa?
Yeah, I'll move approval, and then second, then we can discuss.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Mr.
Discussion.
Testa,
Thank you.
move the
Thank you.
motion. Mr. Wiggins, second.
Okay.
Discussion.
Thank you. Mr. Napolillo, thank you. I support this. You know, it's interesting. It's notable, not interesting. It's notable that you talk about the restructure is a strategic measure to strengthen district oversight of data privacy, security, blah, blah, blah. The threats to our system, the threats to this district via our computer systems aren't going away, they're only growing. So it's critical that we have all those preventative measures in place. You know, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I think Coventry got hit with a ransomware attack. And God forbid we ever have something like that. We've been fortunate, knock on wood. And I think that's a testament to the investment that we've made, right? But it's not something you make and you forget. You have to continually invest, and I think what you're telling us is you want to staff to that too, right? To allow that flexibility. So I support it. It's fine. It's not an increase in headcount. It's a lateral movement headcount. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wiggins?
And I echo my colleagues' sentiments. You know, it's a need. We're just moving further and further. I mean, the way technology is how our kids are learning today. So IT is incredibly important, and if that was ever disrupted, our entire educational system gets disrupted. So, and as we look at backfilling your position, you think about you've been elevated and you've had to do a lot of work, and your team has been doing a lot of work. So I think you put a lot of time and effort into your new role, and respect what you're doing here, and I'm sure what you're going to be doing in the future. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Napolillo, I also support it. You know, I asked a lot of questions, a lot of emails, a lot of questions.
Yes, you did. That's good stuff.
Right? But I don't want people to think that we're just adding positions, because we're not. This committee is really looking at every position that's being added. It is a modest, and I say modest, increase in salary for this person. And for what they're doing, I know they could be paid a lot more than what they're going to receive. So I certainly appreciate the prudence that you put in, especially in the place that we're in right now. And I'm also appreciative of this person. What's her name? Julia.
Sorry,
I want to
Julia Lowe.
say thank you, Julia, for working so hard for Warwick Schools. Thank you very much, Mr. Knapp.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm putting it to a motion to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay. Next up, we have Mrs. Barber. Is that okay? Is that all right to move forward? Okay. Mrs. Barber with a request for approval of teacher assistants.
Good evening. Sorry, this is tonight's Special Services is requesting approval for 3 full-time one-on-one teaching assistants, one at Tollgate, one at Hoxie, and one at Lippet. These were all added to an IEP and were legally mandated.
Okay. A motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Mr. Testa and Mr. Wiggins.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Ms. Barbara, I obviously would support these. And I would just hope that, and Mr. Enos, because you're at the Budget Commission hearings and the superintendent is too, they need to understand that this stuff happens. And it will happen. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen the month after that. So, I do get a little frosted when some people think that this is somehow some kind of a make-work, we don't really know what we're doing thing. I had, one of my kids had an IEP, and if they needed and my daughter did require a one-on-one when she couldn't walk. So, for anyone to question that is, I'll be kind, it just frosts me. So, that's all. I'll just say things I don't want to say after, so.
Mr. Wiggins?
Again, I agree with my colleague. I wish I could use other words than frost. But yeah, I mean, this is legal. I mean, we have to do this. We need, and there needs to be a true understanding that that kids are going to come into this district and they're going to need these services, and they're legally bound to those services, and we are legally bound to give them those services. This isn't like we're just throwing money out there to give. This is necessary. So, and I don't mean to soapbox because we said this earlier, but I just think that there are people in the community who don't understand the true need for this. So, and like my colleague, I would approve this as well.
Okay, I think everyone here knows how I feel about this. So, that being said, let's take it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay. Next on the agenda, discussion action, fiscal year 26 November expenditures. I have, if it's okay if I take it all as a lump, is that okay with all of you? Nothing to pull out? Okay. The change orders, I need a motion to move approval. Approval, Mr. Testa. Second by Mr. Wiggins. I don't know what happened to that, but they're saying enough talking over here. Yes, okay. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Okay, general funded requisitions. May I have a motion to move?
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Testa.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Bid awards.
Move approval.
Mr. Testa moves.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0. We are on to the second public comment. Individual comments will be respectfully limited to 3 minutes per person, with public comment not to exceed 45 minutes. Though the content of comments will not be restricted, it is the hope of this committee that citizens, committee members, and the administration alike will be respectful of each other's right to speak, tolerant of different point of views, and mindful of everyone's time. The public comment period is for the general comments or concerns. Speakers are asked to state their name for the record.
Thank you, Jen Barber. Mary Townsend, Special Education Teacher Assistant, Wise Union President. I want to thank Darlene for mentioning the TAs in her comments before the meeting, and I want to thank all of you for recognizing the need, not only legally. While we are legally bound, our students, again, deserve the services that they deserve, and it's part of what we do. We're a school district, so we're not a business. My next comment would be to say thank you to Susan Colbert over at Welk. She's, I guess, new to that position over there, and there's a lot going on with some people, other staff that's out. So she's taken on a lot of roles, and to see that she made that donation to take care of all those supplies that were needed, it's a great thing. So thank you. She's a teacher at heart. And my last thing was, welcome to Tracy Jakes. It's been a pleasure to get to know her. I'll have my moments to say adios to Kim or Jerry, but I'd like to publicly recognize how important she has been to our staff as Human Resources Director and to our entire district for all the years since she was a TA back at Warwick Next School and Potawatomi and all those other schools. So thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Darlene Netco again. Regarding the assessment data, we've said this before, PSATs and SATs should not be used for state assessments. That's another way RIDE has failed our schools. It's asinine to use PSAT and SATs as our state. I mean, we could go on and on about the biases and so on and so forth. The star ratings, I'm glad Mr. Testa pointed out the inherent problem with the star rating, that you're only as good as your lowest star. So you could have all 5s and a 2, and you're a 2. And that's bull blank. And at some point, RIDE is going to wake up. And I learned something new today from Dr. Schultz, that RIDE changes their little computations every year, so you can't even compare year to year. So another way, RIDE needs to go. Mr. McCaffrey mentioned going to Oakland Beach early and seeing the staff and faculty there working. I would like to add that you can go to any of our schools in this district and find the faculty and staff there preparing for the day, staying after the day. I'm glad to hear the acknowledgement about how hard everybody is working, because we really are. We have an outstanding WTU membership, an outstanding WISE membership, and I pointed out to the Budget Commission, they're not allowed to touch our contracts for a reason. But I also pointed out our administrators and middle management have contracts too, and the Budget Commission should not be allowed to touch those either. And I didn't realize you weren't going to be here for the December meeting, Kim, but Kim and I obviously have had our differences. It's the nature of the beast. But one thing I can say, and I think my members would agree, Kim put the human back in human resources. So if people called Kim, she did. She worked with people on a humane and human level, regardless of whatever else might be going on. So that I really want to thank her for, because we did not have the human and human resources for a number of years. So thank you, Kim, for that. And I'm sure I will see you again before you. When is your last day? December 19th. Wow. Well, congratulations, truly. And Tracy, I'm sure you and I will get to know each other very well. Thank you.
Okay, any other members of the public? Oh, here he comes. It's okay.
Hi, Sean Rainey, baseball coach at Warwick Vets. I just want to thank the maintenance department for the great work they've done on the press box out in the storage unit out there. It looks a hell of a lot better. It looks like a mansion compared to what it did. But you guys did a great job, and I'm sure you guys got a list of other stuff that needs to get done out there. But I just wanted to give you props on the building. Looks great, and it'll look better when it has the paint on it and everything. It's great work.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would wish to comment? Any other members of the public would like to comment? No? Okay. There being none, we'll move on to future meetings. Policy Subcommittee meeting, Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, 4:30 p.m. Building Committee meeting, Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, 7:30 a.m. Monthly School Committee meeting, Tuesday, December 9th, 5:30 p.m. Health and Wellness Subcommittee meeting to be determined. And with that, it is 6:42, and we are adjourned. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Made by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Wiggins. All in favor? Aye. Motion is 4-0.